the market this week. I'll be showing my screen real quick for you guys. There you go. You should be able to see it right here. Tomorrow's the 3rd. Friday will be the 7th. We do not have much going on for this week. We don't have any powwow, I believe. Just some basic reports, consumer credit, non-farm payroll monthly. Just some basic stuff right here. So we're not going to be directed by the market with too much fundamentals. So focusing on technicals for the market, hopefully for this week, and that will be good for traders who are focused on technicals. So that's what we're going to be going on. That's what we're going to be going over right now in this Zoom. We'll go back over here on the chart real quick. And as usual, what I do is go over SPY QQQ first, and then we will switch back over to some other names like Nvidia or AMD, Amazon, Microsoft, and all that. So I do have a watch list myself, and we'll be going over that. If you have a suggestion, go ahead and put it in chat, and I will go over it if you want, if we have time. I'm kind of limited right now, but we're going to be as quick as possible. So SPY, first chart right here. Here we have the daily chart right here, and we have the weekly chart. Over here on the SMA 200 weekly chart on the right side, we do have a breakdown below the SMA 200, which is going to be at 358.16. So we are $1 below the SMA 200. That's going to be a first time breaking it since COVID dropped right here back in 2020. There's a chance we can come back over it and bounce in the markets right now. But right now, what we're seeing is we could possibly flush down towards 350 and possibly lower to 340, maybe even 320s, but we're not going to be focusing on that right now for this week. And we're going to be focusing on these areas right here at 370 to 350, maybe even 340 if we even get that low. So weekly chart, S&P 200 is broken. That's what we know right now. Daily chart, let's go ahead and go over it real quick. So last week I did mention that SPY needs to lose at least around 364, 362 area. And once we do break below that or see a flush below that, market will start to see a sell-off. And here we are on Friday. We have a nice big candle right here with pretty much full control and bears right here. We were selling off all the way towards 350, which is going to be the next support for SPY. Let's go over here in the previous chart right here, all the way back in 2020 right here. There is not much activity, or there's not much volume, so between 364, 350, and also around 320s. So yeah, let's talk about this real quick. Between 364 and 350, there's not much volume, or not that much volatility in the markets. So what we're seeing right now is we're at 357 right now on SPY. We could easily get to 350, and we'll figure out what happens right there. But let's go on the weekly chart real quick first, and we will talk about how this 350 will be support, and hopefully we either break it, and drop lower, or bounce right here. But here's my prediction for what can happen if we do end up losing this 350. So 350 is major. It was a major resistance, currently at support, upcoming support. So we have some support here, and we do have resistance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times right here. So there's a lot of activity around 350 in the markets. So once we touch that 350, it will be another decision time for the markets, or for retails and MMs and all that. So we either bounce right here off 350 for a temporary move, or we break it like nothing happens and we flush down all the way down to 320s. Why straight to 320s? Well, we also have 340, which I talked about right here on the daily chart. We do have a little bit of a let's go back here real quick. Back in 2020 of October, we had pretty much a gap up, gap up, gap up, gap up. 4 times right here. That's what could happen from 350 all the way to 340, and then start building some gaps down here from 340 to 336, and then down here all the way below these numbers right here, and then we'll start getting towards around 320s. So that is a possibility that can happen in the market. And where the major volume accumulation is right here in this area is where markets are sitting. Let's go over here in 320s. It will be around 320 to 325 area at 327. So that will be where most activity in the markets will be. You'll be seeing a lot of buying. You'll be seeing a lot of sells in the markets. So this is where a lot of activity will happen if we do end up reaching that level. So pay attention to 327, 320 area in the markets. Right now, we're not focusing on that. We're going to be focusing on 350, 340. And after that, we will start dropping lower towards 336, and then 330, and 327, 320. So for this week, we're just going to be focusing on 350 and 340. So right now we are in puts on QQQ currently. Puts below 364 would be the best right now. If you are currently in it already, you are good to go for 350. If you are not in it and you're waiting for a entry on your puts, my best bet would be for either a bounce in the market. Let's say tomorrow we bounce to 360 or 362 or whatever. We can have puts again and then come back down to 350 or whatever. So a bounce from here right now back to 364 and 362, we can enter in puts again and come back down. If you want to enter puts right now at 357, that's up to you. That'll be kind of a high risk because we could see bounce in the markets in the morning and then we start selling off in the afternoon. So next target for SPY is going to be 350, and we will see what happens right there. If we bounce, we will sell the puts and get out of it. And if we do end up losing, we will re-enter the puts and come back down to 340. The only time I would play calls in the market is if we do have a breakout in the market somehow from right here. We have a miracle and SPY is breaking 371. This would be my area to buy calls, since we would be breaking over the range right here, over 370, and then we would fill the gap to 374, which is going to be right here. 371 to 374 would be your next target for calls, but right now we're not focusing on calls right now. I don't see any reason why we would be in calls unless we have some low pump bounce right here. But this is SPY chart right here, from 364, 362, all the way down to 350. And after that, we will see what happens. Hopefully we break down lower and see 340s, and see what happens there. So that's SPY chart for now. QQQ is up next. We're going to do QQQ real quick because this is important. I read earlier that October is one of the best months for tech stocks, which is QQQ. So let's go ahead and go over QQQ real quick. Weekly chart right here, we have S&P 200 broken, just like I mentioned earlier inside my trade idea tab. Here we are breaking S&P 200 at 272.40. Yellow line is my S&P 200, by the way. We pretty much closed a few cents above 269 or 267. Sorry, 267 is major support. Just like I mentioned earlier, this is a big decision time right here. Is QQQ going to bounce right here and kill some puts and bounce back towards 275 and 276 and build a gap to 280? That would be a play for calls. Or do we lose it right here and we continue lower? In my opinion, it looks kind of oversold based on the RSI all the way down here at 28.94, which is in the oversold area. So that is currently sitting in the oversold area. That's bullish sign number one. We are currently on a major support at 267. That's bullseye number 2 for QQQ. And seasonally, October is the best month for tech stocks, and that is going to be QQQ. It's going to be Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Netflix, and Facebook. But right now, technical wise, it's not looking very good for the market. So my plan for this week on QQQ is puts right now. The only way I would be playing calls is if we break 280, or at least if you are day trading. If you're going to be day trading, you can use these levels right here. You can use 276 for calls and fill the gap to 280. That's play number 1 for calls. Or you can play the bounce right here off 267 and come back up to 276, sorry. So that's play number 2. There's 2 ways you can play calls on QQQ for tomorrow or the next week. But right now I'm focusing on puts, and that is currently what we are in. So if 267 decides to lose tomorrow, we continue to flush below it. Let's go ahead and go over and see what happened in the past or what happened in 2020 on the daily chart. So right here, this is where we currently are on QQQ. Next, if we break this 267 on QQQ, we will start to sell off all the way down to 260.85 or 261, which is going to be support right here back in 2020. You can see right here, we have some nice supports right here based off of this candle right here and some other candles right here, but mainly this candle, and this candle. So QQQ has seen some nice bounces off the market around 260.85. So pay attention to where QQQ will be headed after 267. And that is why I'm going to be playing puts right here at 267. So if we lose that, we're going to be seeing 260.85, and that is where I will be taking my profits for the market. Now, if the market continues flushing below 260.85 and we are confirmed going lower, we will be seeing 256.50, which is going to be the next support right here around this area. And I wouldn't say it's too much of a strong support on QQQ, so it could easily be broken and then continue lower all the way down to 250. But I would still be careful based off the bounces, and we're always going to see bounce in the market after sell off. So be careful holding your puts too long. Make sure you take your profits. So after 260.85 breaks, next target is going to be 256.50. And if we somehow lose this 256.50 and the market continues bleeding lower, we're going all the way down to 251.23, which is going to be next support on daily chart. The real big major support is going to be around the 236, 240 areas in the market, which is where we have seen most volatility. Mainly just down here, but I really don't think the market is going to see under 200 anytime soon, or never again, in my opinion, but hopefully we don't. For right now, I focus on 251.23, 256.47, or 256.50, and 260.85. So let's go ahead and pull out my notebook real quick, or my notepad. All right, here we go. QQQ, we will do calls over 280 or actually I forgot about this. Calls over 274, I believe it was. There's 2 ways you can play this. He plays or trading. Calls off 267 bounce or 276 target, or you can do calls above 276.25 or 280 gap fill on 1 hour chart, or you can do calls above 280 for a move towards possibly 293, So that is your calls plan for QQQ. Puts under 267. If we break under 267 on QQQ, we will flush quickly, just like how we moved higher above 267 back in 2020. Targets will be 260.85. Sell puts at 260.85. If 260.85 breaks, we can continue lower to 256.50. Continue lower to 256.50 and 251.20. Those are going to be your plays right there for QQQ. I will also do SPY real quick. There you go. We got SPY right here. So just like I said earlier, calls above 364 or 362, whichever we see best area of the relief bounce, or at least a good amount of momentum in the market bouncing, we will enter in that area. But if not, then I would stay away from calls. But let's just have a plan just in case we are seeing a bounce. Calls over 364 would be good for the 371 target, and over 371 is 374 gap fill, so that would be small play for intraday. Puts, as long as the market is staying under 364, and what I mean by that is if we bounce right here and we see 364, but we fail to break above it, that will be your put entry right there. So puts, as long as we are staying under 364, or let's just say 362, because that was the exact level. I haven't fixed it yet, but 362 or 350, 50 target. I suggest taking most of your profit right there, or at least all of it, and see what happens right there, because we're not guaranteed 340. So we're just going to play day by day and see how we go with the market, because not everything's guaranteed in the market. So always take your profits no matter what. Low target is 340 if 350 breaks. And looks like we're good for that. Now we do have a couple more charts we're gonna go over real quick, and then we will end the call here. Amazon is going to be also one of my focuses. I posted earlier on my trade idea tab. This one does have a really good setup for puts if the market does decide to go lower. So I'm gonna talk about Amazon right here. We have a big chart on Amazon, big range from 144 and 101.50. We're not anywhere near 140 right now, so we're not going to focus on that. For this week, we're going to be focusing on 118, or let's just say at least 123 and 101. I don't think Amazon's going to move at least $20+ in a week, but just in case the market does see some big sell-offs. So I didn't mention earlier, we do have a big support at 113, and you can see how we pretty much held that all of last week. 113, 113, 113, 113, 113, 113. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times we have been trying to break it, and we just didn't break it. So there's a chance that we can break it. And with that being said, Amazon is going to be in QQQ. So let's say if QQQ breaks 267, what's going to happen? Tech is going to go lower. So what I'll be watching tomorrow is QQQ. If QQQ does break below 267, we will continue lower to 109.30. So that is my plan for Amazon puts. If we break under 113 and QQQ breaks under 267, we will for sure see 109.30. And why is 109.30 my next support? Let's go ahead and go back in 2020 real quick. The reason why I'm not using these recent levels is because it's very choppy right here. It's pretty much impossible to trade in these areas, and there's no accurate resistance support lines unless you're actively scalping right here. But I'm trying to focus on bigger and wider targets based off of the previous charts back in 2020. So let's go over here real quick. Currently, we have 113. Why is 113 such a big level, and why is it not giving up? Because you can see back here in 2020, right after COVID, Amazon shot up right here and came back down, pretty much retraced back to 113. We have a 113 test right here. We bounce off it, we come back down again, 113 again, we bounce off it, we come back down again, 113, and now we are bouncing off it. And guess what we're doing right now? We are back at the same 113 again. So bulls are trying to hold right here, but bears are not strong enough to break this 113 and continue lower. So that is why I'm not playing Amazon until we actually break this 113 support right here. So my plan for Amazon is puts under 113. What's going to happen after that? After 113, we will be going lower to 109.30. And why is that 109.30 support? Because it was a previous resistance before COVID hit right here back in February. So 109.30, 109.30, 109.30. And we also have a big 109.30 resistance and also big 109.30 as a big support right here back in 2020 after COVID hit. So that is going to be our target for puts. As soon as we hit that 109.30, I am going to sell all of my puts because we don't know what can happen here. Amazon can have a big bounce off this 109.30 and come back to 116 or 120 and then come back down. That's in theory. We don't know if that's going to actually happen, but it could happen. So what I'm going to do is enter puts as soon as we break 113, and my next target will be 109.30. I will sell everything there, and if we do end up losing and closing below this 109.30, I will re-enter in puts on Amazon and come back down to 106.10. That will be my next support right here on Amazon. Now, after 106.10, we're going to come back lower all the way down to 101.43. And where is that 101.43 coming from? Let's go back here in the recent times, back in June or July. You can see here, and also I forgot to mention 106 right here is going to be your support because you haven't seen a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 support bounces off the 106.30. 106.10, sorry. So we haven't seen a, let's just say this is a triple bottom right here on the daily chart for Amazon. So let's say we enter puts again at 109.30. Our next target is going to be 106.10. That is going to be my sell target, sell all my puts right there and see what happens right here. Do we bounce right here? Or do we continue lower and break this all the way for 101.43, which is going to be major support right here on Amazon? That is going to be the next support for Amazon. Now, we got all the puts. Now, what about calls? Let's say market bounces right here. QQQ bounces up 267. SPY bounces off 364 or wherever it's at right now. But we don't want to wait for Amazon to break 119 right here, right? And then we're going to be pretty much too late already because it's already too high, kind of. It's already at the top of the range. How do we know it's going to actually break? So what we're going to do is we're going to play either the breakout of this trend line on Amazon, this white line right here. We're going to play the break of it, or we're going to play the bounce off 113. So there's two ways we can play calls on Amazon over trend line and over hourly trend line. And we don't know what price that's going to be at. It can be tomorrow at 115 or 116. It could be the next day at 113, maybe even around 112 or 114. So set your trend line, make sure you are doing it correctly, otherwise you're going to be wrong. Let's go ahead and go back on a notebook real quick. So calls over hourly trend line or calls 113 bounce only. for, let's say your target is going to be around right here at 117 or 117, and then we will fill the gap to at least around 118. But I would say the top of the range, which is going to be at 118.90. But we'll just do 119. Now, what puts under 113? Target is 109.30 and sell all there and wait. If that 109.30 breaks, target is 106.10 and sell all there and wait. Puts under 106.10, target is 101.40 and sell all there and wait. That is going to be my play for Amazon. There's multiple strategies that we have currently on Amazon, QQQ and SPY. So that is going to be Amazon trade idea right there for tomorrow. We do have one more chart. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Nvidia. Let's go over it real quick. And after that, we will talk about AMD real quick. Nvidia is pretty simple. Yeah, fix the chart real quick. All right, so Nvidia is pretty much dragging down under 125. I did mention Nvidia will see at least 117 sometime very soon, and that is still going to be my target. Here we have a big trend line. Let's clear up some levels real quick. Let's get rid of 125. We're not really seeing too much activity around there. More like 128 is going to be resistance. So we'll do calls over 128 because that is going to be the breakout on Nvidia, and then this will be a next target. Our next target is going to be at right here where this big candle is. Why? Because we have a gap just above right here, and then we can touch the top of the range. Depends on if we break this area right here on the hourly, but currently we're going to focus on is breaking 128, and then 130, 150 will be your next target. So hourly price target 1. I really don't see this coming back up from here for a while. I do see this continuing lower based off this big channel right here, or big wedge right here. Let's go on a bigger picture real quick. You can see how we have a big trend line based off of right here back in May and July, and we are pretty much close to hitting that 117 at the bottom of this wedge or channel support. But if you are currently already in puts, you do have a good chance of hitting 117, which is going to be your next target. And what happens if we do end up breaking that? We will see 107.86 or 108. Let's go ahead and go back here real quick. Back in 2020 and 2021, what happened between 117 and 108? We do have a major support at 117. You can see how we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months of holding that 117, tested it multiple times, and that is where we bottomed on Nvidia for what, 2 years, and now we're pretty much very close to it. So do we hold that 117 again and just bounce, or do we actually break it this time, and do we continue lowering all the way down to 108? What happened between 117 and 108 is pretty much a very low volume move right here. You can see we didn't have much activity in these areas from this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle. So we can come from 117 all the way down to 108 very quickly or very easily, just like how we did right here from 108 to 117. So 117 puts under that would be very good for 108. And I'm not sure what's going to happen down here. I haven't really looked, but I'm not too focused on Nvidia this week because my goal for this week is to be trading SPY only. So that is going to be Nvidia chart. I would say anything under 117 is a very good area to start adding long terms, or pretty much right now if you have a lot of money on hand. But this is Nvidia. I really don't have a trade plan for this. I don't plan on trading this, but what I would do is only play calls if we do break 128, and play puts if we do break 117 or 108. This would be your puts. Puts under that. Be there calls over 128 or 131.50, and puts under 117 major support or 108. That is going to be the video. AMD. I don't plan on trading this at all or watching this week. All I see is a big giant wedge right here, or let's just say, yeah, let's just say this is a wedge right now. It's not really a wedge, but we'll just say that for now. We do have major trend line right here on the downtrend from here, this point, all the way back in 2021, all the way down here. We've been touching the same exact support right here, all the way down here, and it looks like AMD does have a good chance of touching 55 from 68, and you can see how we have been pretty much big. We have a big move from 55 all the way to 72, and that is pretty much what's happening going down, just like how we did going up. 1 candle, 2 candles, 3 candles, 4 candles, 5 candles, 6 candles, 7 candles. What happens after that? We have a big gap up. So very high likely we will see at least around 55 very soon. Maybe even closer towards earnings, which is going to be around October 25th. So that is what can happen with AMD. AMD puts look very good. I do not see anything good in calls right now, unless somehow we have a miracle in the markets. We are bouncing over 69, which is going to be calls over. That is going to be breaking the range right here that we have been struggling to break over the past couple of days. And after that 69, this can go all the way to 74. So that is going to be your target for this week. We'll do resistance target 1 after 69. And if you want to play calls right here, I really don't suggest doing that, because we're pretty much in a free fall from 68 all the way down to 55. So stay away from now from calls. Puts would be your best option. Let's do one more chart and we'll be done with it. Google, someone suggested Google. Let's go over Google real quick. This one does have a long-term breakdown below this big range I mentioned a few weeks ago, or at least a month or two ago. But we're currently losing this major 99 level, or let's say 100. But looks like Google does have a good chance to hit at least around this S&P 200, and that would be a perfect area, because we do have a major breakout on Google right here back in 2021, and we also have the S&P 200, which is going to be just at 92. So it looks like that is what Google is heading for next after breaking 99 or 100. So that is going to be next on Google. If we don't somehow end up holding this 99 level, or 92, sorry, looks like we're going to be seeing a lot of activity or some good amount of interest of buying right here around 85. If Google ends up actually hitting this level, I would put a lot of money into this one. 85 is very cheap. We are going to be pretty much touching the COVID levels. We're going to be touching the major range support where Google broke out after breaking this range all the way from 85 to whatever the all-time high was, which is going to be at 151. So Google breaking 99 is going to be headed for 92. And if we do end up breaking this major support at 92, 85 is coming up next. Yeah, so that is Google right there. Nothing crazy right now. I don't see anything good trading this one. The best way to play this is by playing swings at least, or buying long-term coins. Yeah, so that is going to be Google. That's it for the trade charts. If you want to copy my notepad for your own trades tomorrow, here we go. We do have SPY, we have QQQ, we have Amazon, we also got NVIDIA right here. So my plan for this week is only going to be playing SPY. It can be SPY calls or puts. Yeah, so that'll be it. Go ahead and copy if you want. This will also be recorded. So if you missed out most of it or you want to rewatch what I went over, go ahead. I will post a link on my I'll do it on YouTube if it works. If not, I will send a link to you guys. If you message me, I will send it to you. Yeah, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Thank you for joining, watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow and have a great rest of your night.